Hey everyone, welcome to episode 8 of Nerd Herders. I'm Rich.
I'm Nick.
And this is the Over Beer channel. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing alright. I'm hanging in there.
Alright, good.
Got our beers that discussion's going to be over.
Episode 8.
Episode 8.
The Revenge of Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
What are we drinking this week?
We are drinking Wilhelm Scream Pumpkin Ale from Magic Hat.
Very exciting. The Wilhelm Scream, of course, is the famous scream that you hear in almost every movie ever made.
Figured this would be kind of an appropriate
yeah,
beer
definitely.
for us to
I
drink.
like the name. It's got a cool...
It's got an angry-looking screaming pumpkin on it with like an old rockabilly microphone on it.
Yep. The call for fall.
Yep.
Alright, let's try it.
Cheers. It's not bad.
We had a pumpkin beer on last week's.
We didn't have a pumpkin beer. We had a pumpkin cider.
Pumpkin cider.
There's a difference.
And you hated it.
I hated it. Yes,
Better?
this is much better.
I like this. I like this.
I'm not in love with it, but I like it. It's much compared to that pumpkin cider. This is miles ahead.
I'm hearing the call for fall.
Yeah.
And fall it is. All right. So if it's your first time watching the show, of course, again, we are the Nerd Herder show from Over a Beer.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our discussion over a beer, as you saw. Each week, every day, we provide you content. We talk about some news and stuff like that, and that is what we're going to be doing this week or today.
Today's segment's going to be
Today's
news,
segment
and
is the news.
each week we each provide. We switch off providing news. Today is Nick's turn for the news.
Yeah.
So what are your top 5 stories that we should?
So it's the top 5 stories from the past week or so, and you have no idea
I
what stories I'm
no
going to
idea.
choose. And so let's just start going through it. First of the top 5, we found there was a report last week that said that the post-Justice League DC movies, so your Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Flash, whatever ends up happening, Cyborg, will all probably be origin films. That was the report. So we're going to see all those characters, and then they're going to go back and do their origins.
Okay.
Any thoughts on that?
First, I didn't.
They're doing the opposite of what Marvel did. They're
I-
doing the Avengers, and then they're going to do the...
I see it as a way for them to be like, see, we're not copying Marvel. We're doing our own thing. We're going to do origins after. First of all, I didn't realize Justice League was that close.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize where it fell. I thought we were going to get like Aquaman and all that stuff beforehand, but
I think Wonder Woman is happening first.
Okay.
But then it's like or Wonder Woman, and then Justice League.
So is Justice League supposed to happen before the Batman standalone, or is that happening?
Time-wise, yeah.
Yeah, it strikes me sort of as them kind of trying to differentiate themselves from Marvel, because I mean they're already, Marvel came out and they did their thing and they built up the Avengers, and then DC kind of went, we need to figure this out and get this on the fast track. So it almost feels like they're trying to give us the payoff of Justice League before they've kind of earned the build-up.
Yeah, and that's what it's always felt like. I just never thought that all of these movies would be origins.
Yeah, I don't think we need to.
No, I mean, the thing with origin stories, they are, I think, the most easily accessible for audiences who don't know the characters. But we're gonna be familiar with those characters.
Yeah.
We can get 2 Justice League movies with these characters. Plus, a lot of them are showing up in BVS next year. So people already kind of know them. I just don't... Like, there's just something that has become so inherently lazy about the origin story superhero movie. Like, we've seen it 1,000 times at this point.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it for these characters.
But they tend to all kind of follow like one of a few different
They're
structures.
never the most interesting, in my opinion, of a superhero franchise.
Yeah.
Like, it's usually the second story that is the best.
Once they're
Spider-Man,
in
Dark
there,
Knight, etc. It's kind of disappointing because then you're basically saying that the most interesting story that we might get. Another good example is Winter Soldier. Like, then we're looking at 2022, 23 for potential sequels to these movies that will actually be the interesting one. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're already putting a lot of them, like you said, in Batman v Superman, plus the Justice League movie, you've already got some groundwork laid for these characters. You don't need to do the origin story now. Now's if you're trying to kind of build into it, then you've kind of laid the groundwork, and it's like, here you go. Now go do their here's their normal as the superhero movie without the origin. You could have bypassed that, and it could have been interesting and it could have worked. But if you're going to do them all origin stories, I don't.
Absolutely, and I think Marvel might be doing something similar. We'll see. Where Spider-Man, this new version of Spider-Man, is going to be first appearing in Civil War, and we don't know if the first Spider-Man solo movie starring Tom Holland will be an origin or not. We also are going to see Black Panther for the first time in Civil War, and then probably getting his origin story movie right after, and maybe also Captain Marvel and Infinity War. Like, they might be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe DC is actually kind of going to jump the gun on them a little bit on this, but I'm just... Origin stories of characters that are going to be pre-established, it doesn't seem necessary to me.
No.
But it might be the world that we're living in. So stay tuned. All that, who knows? Who knows?
Sure.
More on that later. Alright, next in our top 5. We found out this past week that AMC, television home of The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, is going to be adding a third zombie show to their lineup. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't heard about this.
A new zombie show was acquired by AMC with commission to film a pilot, and that is called Empire of the Dead from George Romero.
Oh, I know it was AMC, but I remember reading something about George Romero doing a television series.
Yes. So it is going to also be on AMC, already the home of 2 big high-profile zombie shows. George Romero, of course, the legendary, basically creator of zombies, honestly, in the way that we know of them today with Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead and everything else like that.
Land of the Dead, Survival of the Dead,
Diary of the Dead.
Yeah, all that
Day of
stuff.
the Dead. Thoughts on the show and on it being on AMC?
I mean, I'm not surprised they're doing a show of it. I don't know why AMC would want to put it on there. I mean, yeah, Walking Dead's doing great. Fear the Walking Dead, I think, did really well.
It's
so I can see them.
Highest watched first season of a show in ever in basic.
I could see them wanting to be like, all of our zombie stuff's doing great. We got to do more of it. People want these zombies, but at the same time, it almost feels like it's gonna add to people getting burned out by zombies. Because I still haven't even watched Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay. And
I'm kind of like, well, I've already got one zombie show that I'm pretty well into. Do I really need another one? I mean, other people, I imagine, they're watching both of them are like, do I need a third one? And if the last few Romero zombie films had been good, I would probably be interested in this. But, I mean, like I kind of joked a second ago, Land of the Dead and Diary and all that stuff. Like, do we need...
What was the other? Survival of the Dead?
I think there's a Survival of the Dead.
Survival of the
Dead.
Dead.
Isn't that one?
Called. I didn't see that one. Diary of the Dead I thought was horse trash.
I saw bits of it and I could barely get through it. I did see Land of the Dead.
Yeah. Not good.
No.
Here's my thoughts on this. One, I agree with you. At a certain point, they might as well change AMC to AMZ or something.
Like you'd think another studio would want this to be like, we got to compete with this.
Sure, like an FX or something like that. But to me, the thing is, like Sci-Fi has that Z Nation show that just instantly just felt like them trying to capitalize off of any popularity from Walking Dead. And I think any other network that got a zombie show, I'd write it off as that. Although last week I did talk about how I started watching iZombie on CW, and I'm addicted to this show. It's so good, but so radically different from Walking Dead. The fact that AMC acquired this, in my mind, is preventing me from thinking that it's just trying to capitalize off Walking Dead, because it is the same network.
Yeah.
And yeah, they still are. They're obviously still trying to go for that exact same audience, but it doesn't feel like another network trying to rip off Walking Dead success. It's just them further building on their own success.
I can see it as them building it and also keeping other networks from having a competitor. It's sort of like, well, if we pick up the zombie show, nobody else could develop it to try to take away from our viewership of the 2 Walking Dead shows.
But the show has to be radically different from what they do on Fear and
but I don't know
TWD.
What else are they going to do at this point? I mean,
I don't know. I really have no idea. I don't know what the show would be. I don't know how it's going to be different. Because, I mean, really, if you look at, Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead, specifically those two, I feel like they're not that different from Walking Dead. It's not that different from what they do in those.
Yeah.
there have been plenty of episodes of Walking Dead that felt like Night of the Living Dead, and the same with Dawn. Like, I don't know how it's going to be different. It could be this big grand thing, or it could be, you jump forward into the future further and it's like sci-fi zombies, or you go way back. I don't know. I didn't read any like log line about what the show will be. I don't know, but
we'll see.
Zombies have gotten more popular than they ever have before. It's more profitable than it ever was. And in my mind, maybe the creator of Zombies should get a little slice of that, because he didn't get it with Land and he didn't get it with Diary.
Yeah.
But all of those still kind of hit before Walking Dead. So let him get some. Some
that's
checks.
fair.
Whatever. We'll see how it is. It'll be a hit, I'm sure. Okay, this one is interesting, and it will definitely key into a bit of our discussion later on this week in our Stream It. But Netflix acquired a pretty high-profile movie this past week. I'm sure you heard about
more
this.
Adam Sandler films?
Yes, there's going to be 18 more Adam Sandler. No. They acquired the new film from Bong Joon-ho, the director of Snowpiercer. His next film, they paid $50 million to make and distribute it on Netflix, in cooperation with Plan B, Brad Pitt's producing company. This movie's going to star Tilda Swinton, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Bill Nighy, who a lot of people should know. He's great. That's pretty exciting, because I thought Snowpiercer was great.
I like it a lot.
He's also made other movies, of course, and he's a Korean filmmaker, I believe. Thoughts?
I think it's cool. It kind of goes back, to some of the Netflix deals and stuff we talked about with like Beast of the Nation, which again we'll get to in a later segment. But I could definitely see it getting. It's a good viewership thing. You have this built-in audience already for that. And while Snowpiercer, it didn't get a huge release. I mean, it got a decent release, but it wasn't. If I recall, it wasn't like in every theater or something.
No, it got even here in Orlando, I had to travel to see it.
So this thing, kind of guarantees that even if people don't watch the whole thing, they go, "Oh, here's a Netflix original."
Starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, with a pretty high-profile cast.
Yeah, Tilda Swinton, who was great in Snowpiercer, working with him again. That's exciting. I like the idea of, we had Cary Fukunaga. We're getting David Michôd making his Netflix film with Brad Pitt starring in it, and now we're getting this. Like, there's definitely some very interesting filmmakers who are gravitating towards Netflix, and that's exciting. Pretty big acquirement by Netflix. Thought we'd discuss that. All right, so we learned some more about Prometheus, or Alien Paradise Lost, the sequel to Prometheus this past week. We've talked about it on a few shows now. I think already 2 of our 8 weeks, now 3. But we learned John Logan, who is the guy who wrote, he won an Oscar, I believe, for writing Gladiator. He most recently was one of the 4 screenwriters on Spectre, is being brought in to kind of redo the script. So he's worked with Ridley Scott before.
He wasn't on the first Prometheus.
No. The first one is Spates. This guy, I forget his first name, Justin Spates, I believe, and then Lindelof, of course, came in and redid that. But so Logan has worked with him, Ridley Scott, on definitely on Gladiator, I think Kingdom of Heaven, might be wrong on that, and definitely Robin Hood, I'm pretty sure. So they've worked together. And the other thing that we learned is Ridley Scott was talking about this movie, and he said that in this movie, in the Prometheus sequel, we will learn who created the xenomorphs. Honestly, I didn't really know that was a question that people were burning to know. And I'm a huge fan of the franchise. It's just never anything I've...
that's fair.
I don't know.
And that's
thoughts? You weren't a big fan of Spectre. That's his most recent one.
No, I wasn't. But I'm still, I did enjoy Prometheus, so I'm curious to see where these go. We'll see. But I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Spectre. There were also 3 other screenwriters on Spectre.
Right, sure. Yeah, he did the first draft.
Yeah.
As far as Ridley saying, we're going to learn that, and I think he also made some comment beyond that. All of our biggest questions about the Alien franchise will be answered.
I don't have
What
any.
are they? Like, I don't know what these burning questions
They,
are.
as much as I enjoyed Prometheus, they went with, and were like, oh, we're going to talk about the derelict space, the space jockey and all this stuff, and they just kind of, anything they could have done, I don't think could have lived up to what everyone had kind of built up in their mind as what these things were and what their origins were.
Yeah, well, they made the mistake of, and maybe they're making it again, they made the mistake of building it up as like the prequel to Alien.
Yeah.
Like, really being like the prequel to Alien.
Well, they started off as like it's a prequel to Alien, and they're like, well, no,
they held back, but they had already
in the
gone
universe.
too far.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the Comic-Con presentation the year before that came out with Lindelof and Ridley Scott, and live from the set, and Lindelof in person, and then building it up that way, and then throughout the next year, they already had gotten people excited for that, and then like you find out the movie doesn't even take place in LB 426, and like it's like what and that's part of why it was so disappointing, and then just the movie I found disappointing in general. I feel like maybe they're doing that again. They're trying to get everybody excited again who is a fan of the Alien franchise. And
I mean, if they're going to call it Alien Paradise Lost, it better damn well have a real connection to this franchise.
We'll
and
see.
not just the ending and, oh, here's what this, it better have some real ties into this franchise.
I hope so.
We'll see.
So that was our weekly Alien update, and now another movie that we've talked a lot about on
People are
the
getting
show
sick of
already.
this.
I don't think anyone's getting sick of this anytime soon. My last news story of the week is some Star Wars news.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm all for that.
So in the past week, a few things have happened, some of which I have ignored,
Okay.
some of which I wanted to ignore, and some of which I openly didn't ignore.
Okay.
So the first of which is, I think, the day after we recorded some of last week's news episode, the international Japanese trailer for the film dropped, and I was not going to watch this. I was done.
Yep.
And then you watched it.
I wasn't going to watch it either.
Right.
I was like, I'm done. I'm like, well, screw it. I'm going to watch it.
So you watched it, and then you told me, you're like, just watch it. There's not much to that.
I don't think there really is much more footage. And I was like, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Here's the thing. There is a lot of new footage, but it is, I think, it's mostly looks like footage from scenes we've already seen.
Yeah, it looks like, a second after a footage.
Sure.
It's not like, oh, here's these brand new scenes and here's this. It's just.
You can definitely tell the Japanese influence that went into cutting the trailer. There's heavy on the BB-8.
Yeah.
Way more Rey, and of course the female lead is definitely something that you would find in Japanese films, and I mean, you think of a lot of anime and stuff like that, like there is a lot.
They definitely make her more of kind of like a badass.
There's a reason that they build up the woman and the droid, the cute little ball droid that, like every Asian person is going to just love, and a lot of every American too. I mean, that Spiro droid is sold out everywhere. Great trailer though. Awesome, right? Like, oh my goodness. Additionally, the first TV spot came out last week.
Okay, now I have not seen this TV spot.
My intention was to not watch this.
Okay.
It came out online. I did not watch it. I refused to watch it. And then I kind of said, eventually these are going to be on every channel during every commercial break, and it's going to be impossible to avoid. And sure enough, I was watching Scream Queens this past week, and it came on during Scream Queens on TV, and it was kind of like, change the channel, too late. All right, I'm watching it.
I should just change this.
Oh,
it's over. It's out. I saw the whole thing.
It's great. It's really good.
Now, let me ask you this. Is it worth... Okay, it's good. It's great. Somebody who doesn't really want to know anything more, should I seek this out?
It doesn't show you any more story.
Okay.
It's just some new visuals you've seen, some visuals you haven't seen, a voiceover that, again, I only saw it the one time. The first half of the 25 seconds it is, I was debating whether or not to watch it. The voiceover to me, I think, it didn't sound like how we've heard Ray talk. It didn't sound like how we believe Lupita Nyong'o talked in the one. I think it was Leia.
Okay.
But I'd have to watch it again, but I don't want to just overanalyze it. There's a really awesome shot of the Millennium Falcon that we have not seen. Other than that, I mean, there's so far I would still say there's no reason not to watch it.
Okay.
They're still not giving stuff away. So, last quick Star Wars, or two things quickly with Star Wars. Star Wars is its own member of the top 5. We found out this past week that the Han Solo spin-off film is very, very likely to be Lawrence Kasdan's last involvement in the franchise. So Lawrence Kasdan, of course, wrote Empire Strikes Back. He wrote Return of the Jedi. Co-wrote that one. And then he came back to originally just write this Han Solo spin-off with Michael Arndt writing Episode 7. And then when JJ was brought on, JJ decided to rewrite the Michael Arndt script and asked Lawrence Kasdan to help him. So Lawrence Kasdan has wrote Force Awakens and the upcoming Han Solo spin-off. He wrote that with his son. So he's done some good Star Wars stuff. In between writing Return of the Jedi and now, he has made some okay films to good films to some awful movies.
I don't even know what else is in his.
Okay. This is a man
credit
who is forever a legend. He wrote Empire Strikes Back. He wrote Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, forever legend.
So he keeps it past no matter what.
Right. But he also, in the 90s, wrote and directed films like Hearts of Atlantis with Anthony Hopkins.
I do love Hearts of Atlantis.
He did Dreamcatcher.
I didn't see
Awful, garbage movie that I, for some reason, still kind of enjoy. But I mean, it's a really bad movie, sci-fi movie based on a Stephen King novel.
Most of Stephen King films tend to.
So, I'm of a split mind. Like, on one hand, I feel like he lost it at some point, but I'm still excited for Force Awakens, which he's heavily involved in.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out.
But what are your thoughts on him leaving?
What I'm curious to see, so for the spin-off films, we've got Rogue One, which is coming out.
That we know of.
Rogue
One is next December.
Rogue One is next, and then is Han Solo supposed to be after that, or is that going to be the third?
Han Solo will be the second spin-off.
Okay.
We're going to get episode 8.
Between. That's what I mean. So I'm saying as far as the spin-off, it's called trilogy or whatever, goes, Han Solo is the second one.
Yes.
Okay. So that doesn't, have they said whether or not he's going to do anything with, because there was a thing, I don't know if you're going to mention it, but that I think the episode 8 script is done.
Yeah.
Now, is that done, or are they going to have him come in and do anything with that?
No.
Okay.
Ryan Johnson is the writer and director of that movie. Nobody else is writing it. What JJ said about that, I wasn't going to quite bring it up, but what JJ said about the Ryan Johnson screenplay is he had Ryan Johnson and Ryan Johnson's producer. They had full access to the set on 7. He said that they built upon the story of episode 7. He said that they were always open. He was open to them always asking questions, but he said that they actually did it all on their own. He said that Ryan Johnson's an amazing filmmaker and JJ didn't feel the need to influence him, and nor did he want to. And so he said he builds on episode 7 in the best possible way, but he wrote the script. He said it's done. It will, of course, have on-set rewrites and stuff from Ryan, but no, there's nobody else. It's just him. And the other thing that JJ said, it was great to hear, was also, he made some comment about how he's going to be the executive producer on 8, so he wants it to be as good as it possibly can, which was good, that he's going to still be involved in some way. But he said that the movie, while it builds on what JJ did, he said it is 100% Ryan's film in every way. Like, this isn't like Ryan Johnson making a movie for Disney. He said that this is Ryan Johnson's Star Wars movie.
Wow.
And it's great to hear.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Is this the one I sent you? I know I sent you somewhere. Okay. We'll see. I mean, we'll see how 7 is. Like you said, he's a legend because of the stuff he did, how many years, 30 years ago.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Some stuff not so good in between. He comes back and he does 7. It's cool that, he's back to do some more stuff. But if he's out, I'm okay with him being out, because the whole idea of, having a new trilogy is to bring in new filmmakers, new audiences, kind of a new, not necessarily take, but something kind of eventually, hopefully, separate itself from 4, 5, and 6, everything else.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm okay with other people coming in.
I'm definitely fine with him going away, and I respect that it's his decision. He made some comments saying, like, after four Star Wars movies and 30 years of his life,
Yeah.
he's ready to step away.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Fine.
Yeah.
That's great. Good for him. I'm excited to see. I'm very interested to see what the Han Solo movie is going to be. But the last bit that I wanted to say about Star Wars was the man who got to see the movie was terminally ill.
Yes.
He passed away just days after getting to see Episode 7. So I know that we talked about that, I believe. We might have mentioned it.
I don't remember if we talked about it or not, but...
Everybody, I'm sure, knows about it at this point. And, just... I don't know, maybe we didn't talk about it, but, like... I think it's great that he was able to see it.
This isn't the first time J.J. Abrams kind of...
No, it's not. I think it's... I don't know. I'm happy that he got to see it. It's definitely... It's irrational, but I've always thought that, like... I've always thought about that fear. Like, it's like 15 years ago I first thought about it. Like, what if I, like, know I'm going to die and there's something amazing going to come out?
Yeah.
Like, that's always, like, my biggest worry. Like, can you imagine, like, just knowing that that's going to happen? Like, imagine being in his situation a month away from the release of it and you might not make it. And you're that big of a fan. Like, that would be so crazy. So I'm happy you got to see that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really hope... I would love to have found out that, like, they also brought, like, Rian Johnson in and like told him...
Here's where we're going to take this. Here's what's going to happen.
Oh, man, that would be great. But, I'm happy that Disney did that. In a way, they kind of had to. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it was...
You couldn't.
It was a huge
thing.
thing.
It was too big of a story. They would have looked like complete tools if they didn't let him, but, but it's interesting. I hope people don't also, like... Where does it stop?
Yeah.
Like, he got to do it, so why shouldn't others get to do it? I don't know. I don't know the answer.
No, that's a fair point to bring up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm glad it.
Yeah.
Glad
I'm sure
he was able to see it, and
I hope it's amazing, and I hope he loved it, and I hope that was as great of a moment as it could have been for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, that's our top 5 for the week. So another week of news done.
Another week of news in the books. If you like these videos, you can subscribe, like the videos, share them with your friends. You can find us both on Twitter. I'm at Rich Belson.
I'm at Stonks.
The channel is on Twitter at OABeer_official. You can also email us at overabeerofficial@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/overabeer. You can find the YouTube page through any of these means. Till we hit 100 subscribers, we cannot make a custom YouTube URL, so we need you guys to do that. So like I said, please subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends. And if you have any thoughts about, kind of what we covered, anything that you felt like we should have covered, go ahead and let us know in the comments below. And we'll try to do better for you guys. That's all I got.
Yeah, me too.
All right. See you.